Jesus said, "Man cannot live on bread alone, but from every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." You're listening to Daily Truth.
When tyranny ticks up, shrewdness in the Christian must tick up with it. When tyranny is on the rise, Christian shrewdness must be on the rise as well. Jesus told a parable about a manager who is known as the shrewd manager. And he knows that he's going to be fired, and so he begins to plan his own escape route. And he goes and settles debts with everyone who owed something to his master, so that he could make relationships and network and friendships with all these other people, so that when his master gave him the axe, he'd have other people who would feel indebted to him. He'd have a place to go. He'd have some kind of framework to start over new. And you would think that the moral of that parable would be, that's called lying. Don't do it. Well, that's not what Jesus says. He actually says that the sons of the devil are more shrewd than the sons of light. And then he actually encourages his disciples to be shrewd. Now, Christians cannot engage in outright deceit. Lying is, in fact, a sin. But in times of tyranny, there is a measure of moral permissibility for Christians to engage in strategic, moral shrewdness. Meaning there are certain things that the tyrant, who is in a real position of civil authority, may come knocking and say, "Give us this, render that." And you say no. And sometimes you say no in a clever way, so that you can live to fight another battle. The Christians are fond of saying, well, Jesus said, "Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and unto God what is God's." Of course, that's Scripture. The problem is that when people quote that Scripture, they are eisegeting into it by way of assumption, wrong assumption, that render unto God what is God's, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and Caesar gets to decide what is Caesar's. See, that's the problem. I agree with the verse. It's Bible. You don't have the option of disagreeing with Bible. Of course, we should do what Jesus says. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, render unto God what is God's. The question is, who gets to decide what is God's and what is Caesar's? Does God get to decide, or does Caesar get to decide? And the answer, of course, is God. So Caesar doesn't get to decide what is Caesar's. God decides what belongs to Caesar, and I'll give Caesar that. And at times, I may give him more when he asks for more, because that's not the hill I'm going to die on. And I'm going to fight over here instead. And I want to live to fight another day. And other times, I'll tell Caesar to take a hike, because the very gospel is at stake. And I'll take whatever persecution and penalties, consequences come my way. And other times, I'll tell Caesar to take a hike, and I'll do so cleverly, shrewdly. Oh, I don't have that, Caesar, even though it might be hiding under the floorboards in my home. Was it right to hide Moses? Was it right for Joseph to flee with Jesus? Was it right for the midwives to deny Pharaoh's command and to lie to him directly and say, the Hebrew women are strong, they give birth before we can get there? The Scripture says that these midwives feared God. It was commended. It was commended.
All right. Stop twisting my arm. I know you want to hear the inside scoop. Here it is, the glorious vision of Right Response Ministries for the first half of next year, 2023. We have not one, not two, but three massive endeavors that we will accomplish by the grace of God. The first you already know about. It's our Theonomy and Postmillennialism Conference, May 5th, 6th, and 7th, with James White, Joe Boot, Gary DeMar, Dale Partridge, and yours truly, Pastor Joel Webbon. This is selling out incredibly fast. By the time this commercial airs, you may not even be able to get a ticket. I really don't know. So don't waste another moment. Go to rightresponseconference.com, rightresponseconference.com to join us for the Theonomy and Postmillennialism Conference next year. Now, This is where you come in. We need your help. Our next two endeavors are, number one, a documentary-style film, and number two, a brand new studio. Both of these things are seeking to accomplish one primary goal, which is excellent, high-quality, glorious Christian media. We are tired of as Christians, doing things poorly. We've done our best with what we have, but by God's grace, we want to do even better. This is not going to be just another video. This is not going to be a sermon or an interview or a podcast, but we're going to make a documentary-style film, and we're going to be hiring Nathan Anderson, the director of On Earth as It Is in Heaven, a very, very successful postmillennialism documentary that's on Amazon and YouTube, came out a couple years ago. He's going to be flying in from Chile to help us direct this film. And our documentary is going to be on postmillennialism and theonomy, why it's biblically valid, why it's absolutely necessary, and why, by the grace of God, theonomy and postmillennialism are currently on the rise. So we're going to make this film, and we need your support. And not just this film, but we're going to make all of our videos and podcasting and everything we do here at Right Response Ministries better. We want to achieve the highest level of quality and Christian excellence that we possibly can. That's where the new studio comes in. This new film, our date that we're shooting for is that it would be complete and publicly available in May or June of 2023, next year. The studio, our goal is that it would be completely done in its construction and the equipment and the setup and the stage and everything by January, February of 2023 next year. We need your prayers. We need your encouragement. And for those of you who are willing to do so, we need your generous support. You can give towards these endeavors by going to rightresponseministries.com/donate. Again, that's rightresponseministries.com/donate. Thank you so much for all your help. God bless.